you're on the front line with those patients with respirators and vents. And, for me, having small children at home, it's very scary. All we knew is that we wear PPE and we stay safe.
We are very, very thankful for all the support, all the gifts.
It gives you a nudge. It gives you this, I would say, some wind to your sails or some air to your wings.
We're beating this thing one day at a time.
And for all those people who were so generous and giving and wanting to support for all these months, they also are part of the team and heroes.
We are so incredibly humbled and energized by the community coming together in support of our frontline heroes. It's truly like nothing we have seen before. With over thousands of new supporters coming forward to support our frontline heroes, they have felt so loved. We can't say thank you enough for your gifts of supplies, including hundreds of iPads to help keep our families connected, as well as the generous meals and monetary donations. Your generosity and support is truly making a difference at Inova, today and in the future.
We appreciate and we love each and every one of you for taking your time to show us that you care.
To start our program, please welcome Angie Goff from Fox 5 DC.
Great to see you. Good evening and welcome to Inova Honors. Each year, this fundraising event honors clinical teams across the Inova health system for truly outstanding excellence in patient care. Well, in a year where nothing looks the same as it did a year ago, tonight's event is no different. Indeed, instead of dining together at the Ritz-Carlton, we're gathered here on Zoom. This is like the new party. I'm here with a small group of very, very special guests. I can't wait to introduce them in just a moment. But most importantly, what makes this year's Inova Honors unlike any before is that tonight we recognize every one of the 19,000 frontline heroes. In the face of a once-in-a-generation global pandemic, these brave professionals have done no less than risk their lives and the health and safety of their families to do what they signed up to do, and that is to keep you, me, our community, our families healthy and safe. Because of you tonight, because of you and your financial support, donations of PPE, donations of meals, and thousands of messages of thanks and gratitude that have come pouring in, Inova team members have been assured that the community, that you have their back. We're going to talk a lot more in the next hour about teamwork, also about heroism and community, and also having gratitude. And we're anxious to get everything started and underway. And so with that, it is an immense pleasure and honor to introduce my friend, Dr. Sage Bolte, Chief Philanthropy Officer and President of Inova Health Foundation, who I am so privileged to share tonight's stage with. Sage?
Thank you, Angie. It's so great to have you with us tonight and celebrating this evening. We are thrilled to be with you all tonight and so excited to present our first ever Inova Honors virtually. Tonight, as Angie said, we pay tribute to the 19,000 warriors across Inova's hospitals and care sites who have all stepped up when this community, your community, needed them most. They have shown up for our community in truly extraordinary ways, and they and their families have made incredible sacrifices over the last few months, especially team members who have made the ultimate sacrifice. I can't go on tonight without recognizing a couple of our team members. Gary Schweitzer, who served as Director of Public Safety and Emergency Management for Inova Fairfax Medical Campus, and Daniel Osborne, who was EVS Manager at Inova Loudoun. They were longtime members of our team here at Inova and both passed from COVID. So I want to remember them this evening and honor them, and their families are joining us tonight. So if we can, for a moment, before we move forward with our evening, just take a moment to pause and silently express our gratitude for their incredible sacrifices. Thank you. Joining us live, you all, our community members, generous donors, elected officials, and the very beloved members of our Inova team and their families. Thank you so much for being with us tonight and for showing up for our frontline heroes. You'll all have the chance to pay it forward so that we can continue to support these heroes as they continue to serve on the front lines of this pandemic. I know we all wish we could be together, and certainly many of us, including myself, are wishing for some precedented times right about now. And I hope next year we'll be together live. Just so you know where we stand, so far we've raised more than $900,000 towards our programs that support team member well-being and resiliency. And a huge reason for our success tonight is the hard work of our awesome committee. The 2020 Inova Honors Committee members made tonight possible. Their support has made a tremendous difference, and I'm so grateful to them for their efforts. But you'll know and hear tonight, there are more dollars to raise. So we hope that you will continue to open your hearts and open your wallets to care for the people doing extraordinary work during these truly extraordinary times. We've got some amazing guests waiting in the wings. We have Ryan and Heather Zimmerman and Trey and Kristen Turner from the Washington Nationals. We have Washington football team head coach Ron Rivera and Broadway stars Alexa Cepeda and Austin Scott. Thank you for joining us tonight. Before we get started, I'm just going to cover a few housekeeping items. First, all your cameras, as you've noticed, and your microphones have been turned off, except for our special guests. But a feature of our virtual program is actually a really cool one. You have the ability to message everyone who has joined from their living rooms by using the chat function at the bottom of your Zoom screen. Throughout the evening, feel free to tell us how much you love the music. Say hi to your favorite celebrity, tell us what you're wearing, or tell us why you're supporting Inova by watching tonight. Second, we've got two amazing Inova auctions happening right now. The Inova Gift Back option gives you the power to positively impact our patients and the teams that care for them. Your contributions of any size will really make a difference. It will help patients heal, and it also will help support our team members and our patients during their stay. There's also opportunities to provide equipment, training, additional resources to our team members. And then we've also got a traditional silent auction with lots of amazing items you'll see and some special surprises you're going to hear more about this evening. Third, you can visit the silent and gift back auctions at inova.events/honors auction. You should have received a text message at the beginning of the evening with a web link. I know I did. So you can find items to bid on by category or by scrolling through all available items. To bid, simply select the item of your choice and press bid. You also have the option to watch an item to make sure you don't get outbid. So bid early and bid often. Our people are counting on you. The silent auction closes at 7:15 tonight, and the gift back auction will close at 11:59 p.m. on November 12th. There's more information about these auctions in your digital program, so take a look there if you have any other questions. And finally, we will be raffling off a football signed by our very own Alex Smith with the Washington football team, and that will be raffled at the end. But to be entered into the raffle, you need to stay on the Zoom for our entire Inova Honors event. So make yourself comfortable, pull up a chair, get your drink. We hope you're enjoying your dinner and wine if you had it delivered. We've got a great Inova Honors event ahead.
Oh yeah, Sage, we are enjoying it. Cheers to everybody out there. You ready to get this party started? I can hear you through the Zoom. I can hear you guys getting wild. We want to get started, and it is with a great honor and a privilege to introduce my dear friends and the chairs of tonight's wonderful event, Washington football team quarterback and also grateful Inova patient, Alex Smith, and his bomb wife, Elizabeth.
Thank you, Angie, and thank you, Sage. You know, Liz and I are so grateful to be with you chairing tonight's event, which would not be possible without the generous support of our many sponsors.
And I'm so honored to share this impressive list. Clark Construction, Pros for Heroes, Mantech, Dr. Gary and Tina Mather, Kind, Stephen M. Cumby and Dr. Drusilla French, Inova Fairfax Medical Campus Medical Staff, Telos Corporation, Truist Bank, FEMA, Washington football team, and the Ritz-Carlton at Tyson's Corner. We'd also like to take a brief moment to share a 45-second video from our presenting sponsors, Clark Construction.
At Clark, we are passionate about giving back to our communities. Through both dollar and deed, we aim to make lasting impacts to the communities where we live and work for years to come.
We are proud to support Inova Health System Foundation and celebrate essential workers at this year's Inova Honors.
As a team, we are able to deliver projects that shape our communities and strengthen local infrastructure. Tonight, we recognize the power of the Inova team and the invaluable contributions made by healthcare professionals, clinicians, and frontline service providers, especially during the pandemic.
As Alex said, we're absolutely delighted to be with you all tonight to chair the 2020 Inova Honors and to be among people who have truly became family to Alex and myself.
As many of you may know, I was hurt during a football game in November of 2018. I soon found myself at Inova Fairfax Hospital. I knew my broken leg was pretty severe, but nothing could have prepared me for what Liz and I were going to go through next. 17 surgeries, a life-threatening infection, months and months of rehab and therapy. Inova's doctors, nurses, and PTs were with me every step of the way, and they've made it possible for me to return to the playing field, something that seemed unimaginable to me for a long time.
I've lived in a sports world and, sports recoveries and things like that, that this was certainly something that was way out of that realm. To be able to look back in hindsight and to know that we were so fortunate to have gone where we were, to go to Inova, to have been there with the medical team that we had, that our lives are forever changed because of that, in a good way. And obviously, I'm so grateful. We have so much to be thankful for.
I've had people on social media, and people say this a lot, that people always say, if he wasn't an NFL quarterback, he wouldn't get the same treatment. And that is not true. And being there from meeting other patients and families that have been through the same things. I mean, you talk to the doctors and they know their patients just like us, like they're become family. Honestly, the whole medical team and staff is all dedicated towards anyone that walks in those doors. So for me, it almost makes me defensive in a way, because I'm like, he got the greatest care, but everybody that goes to Inova gets the greatest care.
I spent 2 years there, I feel like, at some level in some department, working and working alongside a lot of people that weren't professional athletes, and knowing that they were getting the exact same care.
Alex had a long stay, so I got to know a lot of nurses and janitors and people that were my late night conversations, and I thought a lot about their families. Gladys in environmental service, talk about would come in every day with a smile on her face, yep. And she would clean the room. We'd have some conversations about our families, but she left a little mark on our hearts. We had the care that I could never, completely grateful for and have so much gratitude, and I can never replace that. You live in the DMV area, you don't know how fortunate you are that you have Inova there, because we've lived in other places that you don't get the treatment, you don't get the care that you get at Inova. So God forbid something happens and COVID happens, everyone here is so lucky that they have a place to go.
The Inova team didn't just save Alex's life. Save his leg. They saved his life. They didn't just care for Alex as he battled back from his injury. The team also cared for me and my children as we faced tremendous uncertainty. They did their best to help all of us as we managed the greatest crisis of our lives. And for that, our entire family is eternally grateful.
And all of us, I think I speak for the Washington area and even beyond that, when we say that we're very, very grateful for the inspiration that your family has given us. It is so awesome to see you, Alex, back on that field. A few weeks ago, I would say it was awesome to see Liz there with the kids, but we all know we were all on pins and needles. And we just want to say, Liz, we are glad that you survived that game. So congratulations for truly inspiring us all, both of you.
Thank you. Inova has given so much back to me. And so Elizabeth and I are so honored to try and return the favor tonight. And we're very excited to present two special gifts for tonight's auctions. The first is a 1-hour quarterback clinic for up to 4 kids and 2 adults hosted by me. We'll do it outside here at the Inova Center for Personalized Health and obviously follow all COVID protocols. I'm looking forward to hanging out, throwing the football around and talking ball with a group of young kids that are eager to learn more. This auction item is number 701.
Okay, ladies, this is for you guys. So Alex and I will be hosting an X's and O ladies cocktail Zoom. If you ever wanted a crash course in football, this is just for you. We'll offer a 1-hour refresher on the rules of the game and provide tips and tricks for watching at home. We'll even send appetizers and adult beverages for up to 6 homes in the DMV. And this auction item is 702. You can bid on these items by visiting inova.events/honors auction. Remember, the auction does close at 7:15, so head over to bid right now.
Well, thank you, Alex and Liz, for all that you've done and for joining us this evening. Your courage and generosity is really a remarkable thing for all of us to witness. And it is now my great honor to welcome back my friend, Sage Bolte, and she's here to introduce another great friend, Dr. Stephen Jones, Inova's President and Chief Executive Officer, who is in his 3rd year as the leader of this system. Dr. Jones, there you are. We beamed you right in. I know typically when it comes to these things, we meet in person. Everybody comes together. And the way that history has shown, you've been able to honor specific service lines. But this year we know the norm is out the door and everything has changed. And you really wanted to come together virtually and on this platform to honor everyone, the entire Inova team. Why was that so important to you?
Angie, I'm struck that we're facing four crises right now. COVID-19, of course, the financial crisis, social injustice, and as a result of all of those, mental health and resilience for everyone. Inova's response to these crises has involved every single person, of course, nurses and doctors and advanced practice providers. But, EVS, you just heard mentioned, respiratory and physical therapy, supply chain and security, communications, construction, and yes, system services like human resources, finance, legal, IT. Literally every single person in this organization contributed to the successes that we've seen. And so we felt that every one of those deserved to be honored tonight.
And I know when you look at how this team has shined throughout the year, I mean, I can't even imagine being in your shoes and taking on something like this global pandemic. But what can you say about how they've contributed to the successes Inova has had in response to these unprecedented times? And is there a moment, we're all about stories tonight, is there a moment that really sticks out in your mind that defines the team and how it's performed during this time?
It really is all about team. And although there are 1,000 potential things that I could have talked about, I think of Force South at Inova Fairfax. This is a unit that historically was a research unit, not a patient care unit. And there was a Friday afternoon early in the crisis as we were seeing incredible numbers of COVID patients coming in, and we were doing everything we could to make sure we stayed in front of it. On that Friday afternoon, we had a unit where people who, many of whom they'd certainly not been a team together. Many of them hadn't provided care for patients in quite some time. Some worked in the outpatient areas instead of the hospital. They came together in anticipation of, on Monday morning, opening up as a COVID unit. And I'll recall it felt a little bit nervous at the time. And I had the opportunity to go back only just a couple weeks later, and that team came together, and in a matter of 2 or 3 weeks, they were truly a team, taking extraordinary care of each other and of the patients. And the proof is in the numbers, is that when we look at the outcomes at Inova, a couple things. With any disease, any condition, we know that there's some possibility of dying from that. And COVID-19 being a serious disease, a significant possibility of that, as we've seen nationwide. And we talk in terms of what we call observed to expected mortality, the likelihood that you would predict that people would not survive versus the actual outcomes. And what we saw at Inova and continue to see is that fewer than half of the people who would have been predicted to die of the serious disease have actually died of the disease. What it means is that they've gone back to their jobs, to their communities, to their families. That's a success. And the other thing that I think the numbers that tell us a lot about it is that when we do antibody testing of our own team members to see how many have actually been exposed to COVID, we see that the likelihood in our own team members is actually lower than it is in our community, showing that we're taking care not only of our patients, but of each other.
You know, as a team member myself at Inova, I take such incredible pride in what Dr. Jones is talking about. And one of the things I remember you saying early on to us, Dr. Jones, was the difference between bravery and courage. And I'm wondering if you could speak to that and how our team members have really shown up and displayed that courage.
Sage, bravery is simply having no fear, whereas courage is knowing the risk, facing the uncertainty, and actually having that fear and still choosing to act anyway. Our frontline heroes acted with courage every time they walked through our doors, more than ever during the COVID crisis. And I want to remember, they do that for all of us.
So important. And I would love to take a moment right now to honor our Inova heroes.
The world changed so fast. Suddenly, our community needed you, all of you. And we needed all of you to work together as you never before had, for the sake of our community. And from the start, you had this. It's what you do. But the days grew longer, and the sprint became a marathon that just won't end. You demonstrated true resiliency. While harnessing hope, you guided us through the darkest, scariest of days. We have seen tremendous successes, and there have been many struggles. But you accepted the challenge, always looking forward, keeping your focus on what truly mattered. You remind us that above all else, there is no higher calling than to heal and to comfort. To Inova's frontline team members, all those who bravely and tirelessly work for the benefit of our community, you are all heroes. They say it's the space between the notes that makes the music. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts for being the music, as well as the space. As you continue to show up, even in these uncertain times, we see your dedication, your unwavering commitment to your patients. Your perseverance inspires us. We commit to doing our part. We will follow science, and together, we will rise to the challenges we face, because together, we are strong. Inova Strong.
Wow, I'm sure you saw a lot of familiar faces there. It is so heartwarming to just get a snapshot of the monumental work that this team is doing. And Dr. Jones, I know that well after this event is over tonight, you're going to still continue to honor these 19,000 healthcare heroes.
Yeah, tonight, everything is about supporting those heroes. The funds that are raised will support our team member resilience and well-being efforts that we're already talking about. You know, they are exhausted. They need our support. They've certainly earned our gratitude. And I want to thank all of you for your support and your expressions of appreciation for our heroes tonight.
So, Dr. Jones, one of the things that is on our mind quite loudly right now is this expected increase in COVID cases coupled with the onset of the flu season. Can you talk to us about how Inova is preparing to manage that?
Sage, first and foremost, we put a stake in the ground right off the bat. It's all about the safety of our people and our patients, and we made it clear we will not ever compromise on that. On a daily basis, that's shown to be successful because people tell you, they're more comfortable at work than they are out in the community because they know that that's where we know how to protect ourselves. Regarding flu, let's face it, first of all, flu shots. 100% of the team members at Inova have now had their flu shots already. And even the physicians, which are always the hardest to corral. I spoke to some of my competitors recently who mentioned that they're envious of the fact that all of our physicians did exactly that to protect ourselves. And I hope you will all do the same and make sure you get your flu shots. Now, beyond that, our approach has been to hope for the best, but prepare for anything. And We have daily continuous readiness preparation to assure that the capacity, staffing, testing, PPE, that we have everything we need. And we're in better shape now than ever throughout this crisis. And we now have experience. We know how to handle COVID. Like the video said, as hard as this is, we've got this. And finally, just to remember that our current focus is on taking care of our team members, their resiliency.
Well, we are coming to the end of a truly extraordinary year, as you know, and I know we're all about looking ahead, Dr. Jones, but if we just take a moment to reflect back on 2020, is there something that stands out to you the most?
Straightforward. It's about our people. And I know that everyone says that, but I'm sure of it. I've seen it, and you just saw examples of it. I will tell you that I would face any challenge that came forward with this team, and I'm incredibly proud of every single one of them.
Well, I know that they are proud to be working with you and under your leadership. So, Dr. Jones, thank you so much for joining all of us tonight. And thank you for your leadership. And on behalf of our community, we are so grateful to you and everyone, the entire team at Inova.
And now I'm so excited to introduce some very special guests. From the 2019 World Series champion Washington Nationals, we have Ryan Zimmerman and his wife Heather, and Trey Turner and his wife Kristen. And from the Washington football team, head coach Ron Rivera.
Ooh, this is an all-star roundup.
Super.
So excited to have you here spending your Friday night with us, not in your jammies, all dressed up, looking good, all of you. I want to go ahead and say thank you for joining us. We're thrilled to have you here. And start off with a quote. Henry Ford once said that alone we can do so little, but together we can do so much. There has never been a year where teamwork really has meant more. So we're going to chat a little bit on this topic over the next couple of minutes with all of you special guests that are joining us. Alex, Ryan, and Trey, you've all been part of winning teams, and we want to dig into that just a little bit more. And as we speak with them, you who's joining us from via Zoom, our Zoom party, we would love to hear from you as well. So if you head on over to the chat, share your favorite memories of the teamwork that's on display by the Nationals or the Washington football team, or you can just, leave your notes of gratitude as well. I promise we're going to try to get to all of them and read them all tonight. Alex, because, you're the chair, one of the co-chairs tonight, we're going to begin with you. I want to start by asking you about playing on a team and being considered a star on that team, the quarterback. When it comes to talent, we all know that talent can carry you far. Talent as an individual, it can do that. But when it comes to a team, there's a saying that individual talent can't carry a team. Is that the truth? Do you believe that?
For me, I think when it comes to especially team sports, and I really do think of football as the ultimate team sport, no, without a doubt, talent only can take you so far. But even on an individual basis, we're not nearly as good as all of our parts together. And so for me, there are so many people behind the scenes. When you click on the game on Sunday at 1 and turn it on, it's easy to see the product out there on the field. And, you got the guys on your fantasy team running around trying to make plays. There are so many people behind the scenes who have put in work all year, certainly from Monday to Saturday leading up to that game, to help us, whoever stepping on the field, offense, defense, special teams, to have a chance at success. I mean, certainly you have the guys on the sideline, the coaching staff, the backups, but it's so much bigger than that. The entire team that helps us prepare, when you talk about our medical staff, trainers, doctors, physical therapists, our equipment staff, the training room, film, grounds crew. I mean, the list is extensive that helps us prepare to have a chance to go out there and have success. So we all rely on each other. We all have to be accountable to each other. And really, I think that's the name of every team sport, but certainly for anyone to have a chance at success, it does take everybody.
All right. Yeah, I really think that one of the best things about watching sports is just watching an entire team work in unison. And with that, I want to take it over to Ryan, because you and Heather are there. Hello. Good to see you guys again. And I know that you started the Pros for Heroes initiative. We had talked about that a little earlier in the year when I interviewed you about it. And you were inspired to give from more than 50 professional athletes from all around the country. They all came together. Pros for Heroes raised more than $400,000 to help healthcare organizations during this pandemic. More than $200,000 of that money stayed here and was given to Inova, along with meals that were donated to the team members. What you achieved is really, really remarkable, and Inova is so grateful for your support. Wanted to get that out there before we talk a little baseball. And so, Mr. National, we all know your story. We know that you've been there from out the gate, from the beginning. You experienced the high of winning the World Series, of course, but also those agonizing losing seasons before that. I talked about how it's awesome to watch a team work in unison, but as a fan, sometimes it's tough to watch a team also fail together. And so just interested in knowing how you were able to navigate all those years, the ups and downs, and really all the shifts and new players, and still remain a team.
Yeah, I mean, I think the crazy thing about baseball is we play such a long season. You know, we have an active 25-man roster, but, you know, when you get together in spring training, you know it's going to take every bit of 30, 35, and even in 2019, pretty much 40 men to make it through that 162 game season. So you have to learn to be a good teammate with everyone. You know, you have guys going up and down from the minor leagues to the major leagues. And I think for me, it's all about creating relationships and becoming friends and really wanting to play for the guy next to you. You know, all the teams that I've been on that have been successful, you have those relationships. So when you get on the field, or when it's your turn to maybe sacrifice an at bat or do something for a teammate, you don't think of it as just doing it for that guy over there. You think of it doing it for, you know, your buddy, or, you know, if I need to get Trey from second to third base so the guy behind me can drive him in, I'm not going to get the RBI. The guy behind me will, but the team needs that run. So it's such a long season. You know, Trey can talk about this too, but we spend more time with each other than our families during the season, which is crazy to think about. Heather's thrilled about that, but you know, it's such a long season, and like Alex was saying as well, it takes so many people to keep us on the field. You know, we are talking about Inova and healthcare workers tonight, and it's no difference with athletic teams. You know, I can't tell you the amount of people that work on us daily, that stay before and after the games. You know, these guys sacrifice a lot of times with their families as well. So it truly is a team effort, just like you guys do at the hospital. And, you know, I'm just honored to be a part of that. And Heather and I were very honored to do whatever we could to help out such an awesome team like you guys have in Inova.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, it's funny because I don't know a whole lot about baseball, except my son's playing Little League, and I'm like, what is this game? And then I watch something like your team play, and you guys are doing, you know, these triple plays, and they're effortless. But we all know that there's focus, there's precision, there's so much that goes into that. And Trey, I want to toss it over to you because we're going to do a little Flashback Friday and relive the World Series. It's Game 7. You're in Houston. Everything is on the line. What happened in that clubhouse that drove you and the team to a championship? How does a team come together and really rally during these high pressure moments?
A lot of what Zim talked about. You know, we started off so bad and we played about as bad as any team could, and we knew we were better than that. We knew we were eventually going to start to play better, but it was, you know, not getting too down on yourself and being positive. And so we started out bad, and, you know, kind of took off for the second half of the year. Probably played some of the best baseball that, you know, any organization could, and got ourselves in the playoffs. And I think Game 7 was just another game for us because we had so many ups and downs, so many memorable moments, so many come from behind wins. That Game 7 was, you know, this is what you would take at the beginning of the year if you said, you know, one game to win a World Series. I think every team would take it, and we were in that situation. So it was a matter of, you know, having fun and enjoying one another and focusing on what's in front of you. And, you know, our team, if you watch us play each and every day, we did that. So, you know, for us, it was another game. Obviously, you know, all cameras watching, you know, millions of people watching, but we were out there to do the same thing we did on Game 1, and that was just have fun and enjoy one another, and whatever happens, happens. But we knew we put the work in, and we were going to, you know, give it our best. And I think that's what it's about, is just staying positive and continue to try to, you know, enjoy the situation you're in and make the most of it.
Yeah, I really feel like we can't underestimate that. That was one of the major storylines that came out of that World Series win, was just how much fun you guys were having on the field and then in the clubhouse. Now, Sage, I would love to know, from what we just heard from Alex, Ryan, and Trey, the characteristics that they described so far, how do you see that paralleled or mirrored in the team here at Inova?
Yeah, I loved hearing the guys talk about it because I am truly in awe of our Inova team, just like so many fans are in awe of these players because they put it on the line each and every day. And at the beginning of the pandemic in March, when so much was unknown, it would have been so easy for them to say, I don't know what this is, I can't do this, but they showed up. Our team members showed up for our community and each other with no questions asked. And they put their PPE on, which, if you've ever watched it, is a task in and of itself. And they bravely, courageously headed into clinical areas without fully knowing what awaited them because they are committed to providing for the health of people in the DMV. And every Inova team member has a critical role here. As Dr. Jones said earlier, our physicians, nurses, respiratory therapists, our food service people, security, and all the behind the scenes heroes like IT. Every single person plays a role in the team's success, just like they do on the award-winning sports teams we've learned more about tonight. And this is why we're here. This is why we honor our Inova team and why the money being raised tonight towards efforts for their well-being and resilience is critical. The pandemic isn't over, and we have a long, long winter ahead of us. And we at Inova are committed to keeping these team members safe, both physically, but almost more importantly, emotionally, over the months ahead. We have another guest coming who really understands both what it means to keep his players safe as well as being safe here at Inova, Coach Rivera. It is such an honor to have you with us tonight. Thank you so much. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good, Sage. I really, truly am.
I'm so glad to hear that. You know, you're in a unique position at this moment. You're focused and this new team, which they're also excited to have you on leading this new team, the Washington football team. And you've joined a new team of doctors that you didn't plan on joining and clinicians to provide you with the best possible cancer treatment. You know, when you reflect on your leadership, how does your leadership role as a coach and your team experience prepare you to receive cancer treatment while also leading this new team?
Well, you know, it's interesting, just listening to what the guys were talking about being part of a team. And if the players listen to the coaches and do what the coaches want, good things will happen. Well, I learned that as a patient, if I listen to what the doctors tell me and the nurses and everybody else, good things will happen.
I love that. That is fantastic. Thank you so much, Coach, for being here tonight. We just wish you the very best.
Thank you, Sage.
Yes, we do. Alex, do you hear that? You got that, Alex?
I got it.
Okay, he got it. Coach, he's got it, okay? Thank you so much, Coach. And by the way, it was awesome seeing you ring that bell. I mean, that was just great. You're an inspiration to us all. We appreciate you being with us tonight. But let's talk about the real MVPs, okay? Let's talk about the ladies that are here with us tonight. We you know, whoop, whoop. We all know families and friends, they play a huge role, a critical role when it comes to supporting any member of any sports team. I want to begin with you, Heather. I know that you have a house that's fuller than ever. You got your little man. We saw him last time. So cute. He was camera ready. He already has a uniform. I want to begin with you and talk about if there's any kind of rituals or traditions that you would do to support Ryan on game day to kind of get him pumped up and get the whole family pumped up.
Yeah, I mean, of course, all of our kids have their little custom outfits and T-shirts and whatnot that they will wear here and there. But Ryan tries really hard to not be a superstitious person, so that, you know, has to obviously sort of melt onto us as well. So we try not to be superstitious about anything and just go in positive to every game. Ryan and I have been together for, gosh, almost 11 years now. So we have been through a lot of the harder times with the Nationals team. So I never want to put too much pressure on him or on the kids or anything. We just got to hope for the best. And obviously that worked out well last year.
Yes, it does. And I will say your fits are always on point. I'm always jealous. Like, if you're not following her Instagram, you need to, okay, folks? So congratulations also to someone you know very well. I want to introduce Kristen. Kristen's here with Trey, and I know that you are ready to start a family. We're so excited for you. Last time I spoke with y'all, which I think was at the World Series, and we were doing a conga line and getting a little wild, we talked about the sisterhood that you have, and bringing a baby into the world during a time of such uncertainty. Have you found really kind of your own team of support within these women?
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's definitely not an ideal time to bring your first kid into the world, but you know, you can't really celebrate as much with friends and family right now. But it's been so nice to have such a large group of these Nationals wives that have been through it, have little kids, and you know, it's so nice to be able to lean on them and just to be able to ask them questions and some advice. It's been really nice. I mean, everybody has been so supportive. Even like now with social media and Zoom and everything, it's easy to you know, talk to friends and family from afar. So it's definitely not an ideal time, but we're getting through it, and we're very excited.
Well, we're excited for you. Any crazy cravings? Pickles and ice cream?
Yeah, like ice cream and sweets, pretty much. Yeah.
Grilled cheese.
I still have those cravings, so. Well, congratulations to you, and we wish you a very healthy and happy pregnancy. And now we want to turn our eyes to Elizabeth Smith, because you know the challenge about raising children during these times. It's funny, when we first talked a while back, before Alex even got that thing from Siberia off his leg, you guys were talking about how you had already been doing social distancing to an extent because he really couldn't go anywhere. So just talk a little bit about how this has really prepared you, and your experience as being a team wife has prepared you and helped you through these times.
Yeah, we kind of joke about it. We were quarantining on our own while Alex was wheelchaired to the external fixator. So we'd spent a lot of time together. Probably managing right now, the hardest thing is homeschool. Can't get away from them. No, I'm kidding. It's really just checking in with the family. We are a team. And I teach our kids this all the time. We always tell them, like, we're a team in this together. You're also part of your community team. So whether you're a right tackle or an outfielder, you need to make sure you're doing your part in being cognizant of other people. And so, yeah, to teach them about this, we all work at this together, whether it's COVID, Dad's injury, and we do our daily check-ins. You know, I need to make sure that, you know, whether it's my wide receiver out here is doing okay mentally, emotionally, because it's been hard on everybody. It's not just the adults. You need to remember, these little ones are having a hard time too.
Yeah, I know. Preach. That's what Sage said. Preach. Well, we're proud of all of you, and you guys are all setting such a great example. Trey, you have a special connection when we talk about children with a young boy named Drew. He received cancer treatment at Inova Children's Hospital. You might remember Drew because he threw out the first pitch during spring training at a game as part of his Make-A-Wish wish. And Drew had graciously decided to donate that ball signed by Trey to tonight's auction, but he was a little nervous that Trey would actually get mad at him for giving it away. So we gave Trey the chance to reassure him and thank Drew for his generosity.
Hey, bud. Come join my work call for a sec.
Hi, you remember me?
Yeah.
Well, I was told that you are donating a baseball from our first pitch. Is that true?
Yeah.
You know, it's going to help out the team members a lot, the people that, you know, are there every day with you in the hospital. And I just want you to know that I'm proud of you, and it's a great thing you're doing. So don't worry about giving away the ball. We can get you another one. We can do maybe another first pitch here down the road. But, you know, I'm proud of you, and I'm excited for that ball to go to auction and raise some money for a good cause.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Adorable. I love that kid. Drew's first pitch ball is just one of the special items we have available in tonight's auction. So just a reminder that our auction is open and you can bid on Drew's first pitch baseball, a national jerseys from Ryan and Trey, the coaching clinic from Alex, and the ladies football primer with Alex and Liz. Visit Inova.honors/honors auction to make your bid today. Please, 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 let's not let Drew down. Thank you, Drew, Trey, Ryan, Coach, and all your families. We are so pleased at how the DC sports community showed up to support our Inova team tonight. Thank you to all of you for taking time out of your days to join us.
And I think it goes without saying, Sage, that sports just did not look the same this year. None of them did, right? Neither have the entertainment, the restaurant, the retail, the hospitality industries. They've all been hit very hard because of this pandemic. So we are so fortunate that Superfood, our celebrity chef, meal provider, and Karen's Florist have helped us out to celebrate Inova team members this year.
And the Ritz-Carlton Tyson's Corner, which is supporting our mission despite the uncertainty that we all live in right now. So as we watch a brief 30-second video from the Ritz-Carlton Tyson's Corner, head to the chat. Tell us which Ritz-Carlton property you've been dreaming of. My dream is that we could be at the Ritz-Carlton Tyson's Corner celebrating this event together, and I could head to the spa in the morning.
Come with me and you'll be in a world of pure imagination. Take a look and you'll see into your imagination. If you wanna view paradise, simply look around and view it.
This is already such an incredible, special night, and it's hard to believe that we have even more in store for all of you.
You know, arts and music are so important to Inova, and they're so important to the healing process. And no one knows that more than my friends, Dr. Gary and Tina Mather, who are tonight's entertainment sponsors and joining us virtually. Gary is a cancer survivor, and he and Tina were inspired often by the power of music while going through treatment. And we're so grateful for their support of our special musical guests that I know are going to touch you tonight. Alexa Cepeda and Austin Scott. Alexa is a New York City actor, singer, playwright, and lyricist. And Austin starred as Hamilton in the national tour and on Broadway, and will return to Broadway in 2021 in the role of Joe Scott in The Girl from the North Country.
Yes, and they are going to be singing You Matter to Me from Waitress for us in just a moment. But first, we just want to say it's so great to have you with us tonight, joining us live. And Austin, we know that we've been celebrating the power of teamwork all night tonight. And we know that no Broadway show is successful as a team of one. It has a lot of moving parts. Can you tell us about how a team comes together to make sure the show goes on?
Absolutely. And first of all, thanks so much for having us here. It's really an honor to be here. Yeah, you know, when you go to see a Broadway show, obviously you see all the actors on stage, right? That's really apparent. But what's not as readily apparent is the whole team of people behind the stage. There's obviously the writer, the director, the musical director, the choreographer, the set designer, all of that. But there's also dressers who help us, you know, get dressed. And there's the ushers and the security and the stage managers and the sound technicians and the lighting technicians. Sometimes they're crawling up above the stage. You never see them, but they're crucial. It really is a group effort, and everyone is so important. And, you know, when it comes to being on stage with your fellow actors, sometimes you show up and you're just not feeling it. You know, you're really tired, or whatever's going on in your own life. And so it's the showing up for each other. It's saying, you know what, I'm going to show up for you, and you show up for me, and we're going to do this together. That's what really makes it a beautiful experience. And it could be 10 times harder if we didn't show up for each other. So it's absolutely a team effort.
Performances, which I can't wait to come and watch you live in the near future, both of you. Alexa, I know you and Austin really actually took so much time to choose the songs that you're going to perform for us tonight. Can you tell us about the song you're about to perform?
Absolutely. So You Matter to Me is a song about
human connection and compassion. And it feels especially meaningful to be singing it now because I feel like this year has really focused in on what matters most and made us all realize what is really important to each of us. And that's people. You know, people matter, and taking care of one another and lifting each other up when we're down is what is really important. So we chose this song because it communicates that really simple but profound truth that we belong to each other.
Well, bringing a little bit of Broadway to you, Austin and Alexa, take it away.
I could find the whole meaning of life in those sad eyes. They've seen things you never quite say, but I hear come out of hiding, I'm right here beside you. And I'll stay there as long as you'll let me, because you matter to me. Simple and plain and not much to ask from somebody. You matter to me, I promise you do. You matter too, I promise you do. You'll see. You matter.
You matter to me. Simple and plain and not much to ask from somebody. You matter to me. I promise you do. You matter too. I promise you do. You see. You matter. You matter to me. Simple and plain and not much to ask from somebody. You matter to me. I promise you do.
Come out of hiding, I'm right here beside you. As long as you'll have me, I do. Promise you do. You matter to me. You'll see. You matter to me.
Wow. Alexa and Austin, what beautiful voices and what a perfect song for this moment. Thank you for sharing your amazing talent with us. We are excited to hear from you again a bit later in our program, and it's amazing how music translates even in this Zoom world.
It's universal. It truly is, and it goes right to the heart. Has such healing power too. And speaking of the moments when we realize what and who matters most to us, we are now going to share a story of a local family who, despite all the COVID precautions and care that they took, found themselves in not one, but two life-saving battles that forced them to focus on what mattered most. Their story is one of incredible resilience and hope.
The COVID sort of changed everything for us.
We were quarantining and being cautious. Somehow George came down with it first, and he was in bed for a couple days, but nothing respiratory, and then I got it, and I had basically no symptoms. And then it started with Matthew. We couldn't manage his fever, and I checked his pulse ox, and it had dropped into the mid-80s, and so I called 911.
Matthew's lungs were so sick, he required 100% oxygen, and he required the maximal amount of support and was still not meeting his gas exchange goals. He was moving towards death, unfortunately.
That's when we make the decision to transition to ECMO. And so what we do is we essentially take blood out of the right side of the heart, pass it through the ECMO machine, pass it through the pump, through the oxygenator, back to the right side of the heart.
That's the highest level of support that we can provide as ICU physicians. That's all we're doing, is giving their bodies time to heal.
About a week after Matthew went in, Timothy started feeling the real symptoms. Then I put him on the ventilator. Unfortunately, it was very quick. We found out that the ventilator was not going to be enough, and we were rushed over to the ECMO floor.
All of a sudden, we have 2 boys that are on most advanced life support, fighting every minute for their lives. I was afraid I was going to lose my sons, but I just held on to the fact that God was with me, and they are getting the best care they could get, and I just turned thankful that people were giving their all. The staff, the doctors, the nurses, everybody, they're just giving their all to this.
We were sharing a common experience that was really hard, but by being in it together, it amplified our strength.
Even when there was a fear of what could happen, no one ever stopped and said, you know what, I'm not walking into the
Wow. I can't thank the Gravison family enough for sharing their powerful story. I know those boys are home and safe and healthy and back in their virtual school world. So now we're turning to you in your virtual school world, in your virtual homes, watching on your iPads and computer screens, because while we've raised a lot of money so far, there is still a significant gap to close to meet tonight's goal. And we want to be sensitive to the time on the clock as well and get you back to your evening. So we need your help more than ever to continue providing support to these team members who provide world-class healthcare every time, every touch, to each person in every community we have the privilege to serve here at Inova. So in the next 4 minutes, we have an ambitious goal to raise $150,000. So I am asking you, open your hearts and your wallets in support of our Inova frontline heroes, because right now they're counting on you. And if we can close this out before the 4 minutes, we'll get back to our program.
Yeah, I mean, consider this the rapid fire round, right? Of trying to do what we can to raise this money for critical funds that are not only going to serve, people that you may know, but I mean, our community at large. So how does I know I talked with you a little bit about this because I was interested in knowing in Team Member Wellbeing and Resilience Fund, how does it bring support to these frontline heroes?
Yeah, so the Team Member Wellbeing and Resilience Fund is actually a new fund we created at the beginning of the pandemic, realizing we had to find a way to bring tools and resources for training, leadership training, peer-to-peer support, compassion cards, many tools and resources to help support and train our frontline heroes so that they can sustain. We are classic healthcare workers. We put everybody else's masks on before we put them on ourselves. And that's not sustainable. So this money goes right back to helping them live into their potential, live into their well-being, and make sure they have the resources to stay successful through that.
Wow. And I like watching that number go up. Let's keep that mercury rising. The fund, has it existed before, or is this a new thing?
So it is. It's new. We were working on resilience, but after when the pandemic started, we realized we had to do something quick and now. And we need this money to support these initiatives, to continue to wrap around and provide the tools and resources to our team. And I know our teams are up with us tonight. Ryan and Trey and Liz and Alex and Coach Rivera. Everybody's up there tonight. And I understand that Ryan had something he wanted to say to the group tonight. Ryan.
Yeah, thanks, Sage. Because of this, Pros for Heroes was, got off to a great start. And then obviously, we kept going and we did great things. And, I am not the greatest on social media. My wife is really good on social media. But since we started, promoting this event, we had a bunch more traffic come back in, and actually have over $25,000 in the account now that just kind of came about. So because of all the hard work, first of all, that Alex and Liz did, I think kind of chairing this and, you know, getting the word out and sharing his story and obviously their family's story and what they went through. And then all the work that you guys have continued to do. I think the important thing you said earlier is, you know, I think a lot of us have become numb to this, you know, and like you said at the beginning, like this is not over. People are still going through hard times. The winter could be tough. Hopefully, seems like we're pretty well prepared, but you never know what's going to happen. So
Wow.
I have to thank the people around the community. They've continued to donate kind of to the fund, and we have you know, another $25,000 to give back to the people at Inova. Thanking, you know, everyone on this call, Coach Rivera, Trey, Alex and his wife, Kristen, obviously. So it's you know, we're announcing it, but I think you know, it's for everybody on this call.
Thank you so much. So for those at home, we just got another $25,000 towards this, and he's challenging you to match him, to bring it up. And so there are plenty of items.
These big sponsors got plenty of money. Go ahead and match it.
Oh my goodness.
I love it. We're close.
I know we are getting close. And hey, real quick, Sage, because when we talk about money and we talk about donations, just to put it in perspective, I'm not good at math, but I assume, you know, if 25 people gave $1,000, that's 25,000. That matches it, right? Okay. So where would that go? What can that do?
Well, it could make a huge impact. Again, $1,000 trains a nurse on these resilience efforts that we need, and we need these people. We need them to sustain us. And so, you know, we heard that Ryan and Heather put in that 25 grand. I know others are coming. There's others happening in the live auction. It looks like we are.
Oh my gosh!
Are we at 171,000?
Now, this was not part of the program, but I might dance for this.
You can't see her dancing, but she's dancing. And I'd love to see if Alex could dance a little for us.
I know.
Right?
He's got a stanky leg.
That's right. Yeah, there you go. So we have met our goal, but we want that money to keep coming in. Listen, our goal for team member resilience is $1 million. We've got to get that to continue these programs, to really impact and change and help support these incredible frontline heroes. So thank you from home. Please know it's still open. Keep giving. There are auction items that are there for you to give to. Every gift you give goes immediately back to these frontline heroes. So thank you so much.
That is absolutely amazing. I mean, if it was up to me, I'm not the director of the show, but I would have reset that like halfway through. And we talked about the compassion cart because I know some of that money is going to go towards that, right?
Yeah, right. And so that's an important thing to know. And again, I know we're going to transition over, but really quickly, just so you know what some of the money goes towards, this effort called compassion carts that are rounded around the hospitals to really enforce and reinforce our team members to take a moment of pause, to stop and reflect, to take a moment for themselves, to have a piece of a healthy snack or a piece of candy or a sip of water, and just check in with them and say thank you. And it's a great opportunity for our leaders when they round to say thank you to the team members that show up every day to take care of our patients and ourselves.
Okay, and just want to remind you that the gift back auction goes on until 11:59 tonight, so you can still win some big prizes there. Now, what an amazing event, an evening that we've had so far. The power of philanthropy and community support is evident in the incredible display of generosity that we've seen tonight.
Yeah, and I'm so grateful to my fellow athletes and their wives. I want to say thank you to Ryan and Heather, Trey and Kristen, and Coach Rivera for supporting us and joining us tonight. And also to Austin and Alexa, thank you for sharing your gift of music with us all.
And once again, thank you to our sponsors who have given so generously in support of all of Inova's 19,000 frontline heroes, especially our Inova leaders who have shown up for their own teams in committing more than $100,000 for the Inova family.
Tonight, we have raised over $1 million towards our efforts to support the well-being and resiliency of Inova's team members who will continue to provide extraordinary care to our community. And again, we're still raising money, so don't be shy. Keep giving. We need that. There is so much we could do with more. It's an amazing total, and we're so grateful to have all of you. So on behalf of Dr. Jones and everyone on the Inova team, thank you. Thank you for your support during these extraordinary times. We are so humbled by the way this community has shown up with generous gifts of time, talent, and treasure. And to my Inova warriors who are watching, I love you. I thank you. I thank you for all you do, every time, every touch. And I hope you see and feel the love and appreciation from your community, from your sports heroes here tonight. Because tonight, all 19,000 team members salute and we salute and celebrate you for your incredibly selfless and courageous work.
Yeah, and we feel the same way about you, Sage. As we thank everybody for joining us this evening, Sage, just want to say it's been an amazing time. If I had a clap track, I would roll it and cue it up just for you because you've done amazing work. You talk about a warrior, you define that term, especially with being able to pull this off during the uncertain times that we're in. We do want to bring back Alex and Alexa. They're joining us once again, and this time to perform a song, Beautiful. Many of you may already know it. It's that legendary song by the great Carole King. Now, the song reminds us, if you know the lyrics, that you've got to get up every morning with a smile on your face and show the world all the love in your heart. Well, we all know that we faced some of our worst fears in 2020, but we have also been touched by the better angels of our nature. So here's to our frontline heroes who every day show the world all the love in their hearts, and to all of you for the love in yours.
You've got to get up every morning with a smile on your face and show the world all the love in your heart. 'Cause people are gonna treat you better. You're gonna find, yes you will, that you're beautiful as you feel.
Waiting at the station with the workday window blowing, I got nothing to do but watch the passers-by. Mirrored in their faces, I see frustration growing, and they don't see it showing. Why do I?
You've got to get up every morning with a smile on your face and show the world all the love in your heart. Ooh.
Then people gonna treat you better. You're gonna find, yes you will, that you're beautiful as you feel.
I have often asked myself the reason for the sadness in a world where tears are just a lullaby. If there's any answer, maybe love can end the madness, maybe not, but we can only try. You've got to get up every morning with a smile on your face and show the world all the love in your heart.
Oh, people gonna treat you better. You're gonna find, yes you will, that you're beautiful.
You're beautiful. You're beautiful
as you feel. And people gonna treat you better. You're gonna find, yes you will, that you're beautiful.